Welcome to the Revo Training Ground. On screen share videos just like this one, I'm going to teach you ways to leverage social media to find people to join you and your Revo team. On this video, I'm going to teach you how to use Twitter to generate free leads that will become drivers for Revo. Now, the strategy I'm about to teach you works even if you have to create a Twitter account right now and this is your first day on Twitter. Has nothing to do with the amount of followers you have or being a seasoned vet. In fact, I've done all the homework for you on this screen. So as you watch this video, you can literally copy my keywords and copy my tweets that you reply to people. If that's Spanish to you still right now, let me introduce you to the concept. See, here on Twitter, you have a search bar, and anything you type into the search bar, you're going to get a list of people tweeting that word or phrase. So I typed in, I drive for Uber. And as you can see here, Dawn and Brandon and Rico and Nip and Angela, everybody, as you can see, it constantly generates more people as I scroll, all have one thing in common. They've all tweeted that they drive for Uber. Or in Dawn's case, I drive for Uber and Lyft. Now check this out. I'm not following Dawn. As you can see, it's giving me the option to follow him right there. Dawn's not following me. But if I click reply, I can now hop into a conversation with Dawn, and the subject is the tweet that he put out talking about driving for Uber and Lyft. Since this is already our target ideal prospect, and if you didn't catch on by now, we're targeting people who drive for companies that are like Revo, because they're familiar with the onboarding process. They're people who are already putting in the grind in a similar business, so they're going to put in the grind for us. So they're going to be drivers that are actually taking rides. So you as the affiliate means you're going to be recruiting people that are actually making rewards for themselves and earning you rewards in the process. So we're targeting these kind of people, and Twitter makes it super easy for us to put our message right in front of them. Now, again, I did the homework for you. Here you can literally see 20 different gig/rideshare kind of companies that are just like Lyft, just like Uber, just like Revo. So you can literally take any of those companies and you can type these phrases that you see: I deliver, I drive for, I work for, I'm a driver of, etc., into the Twitter search bar along with one of those 20 companies, and they're going to give you exact Twitter keyword searches, but different Twitter keyword searches because it's a different profession for each one. So you're going to get 20 Twitter keyword lists for each one of these phrases because you can switch out the different DoorDash for Postmates, for Uber Eats, for Lyft, etc., and get a Twitter keyword list out of each one of them. Then from there, it's super simple. Once you find one of those people, as you just saw, we can reply to them whether they follow us or not. So what are you going to say to them? Well, you're going to ask them if that's the only company that they drive for. 99% of the time, they're going to tell you that they drive for at least a couple of different ones because most of these people want to do this full time or are in the actual process of riding and driving for these gig companies full time. So they collect and they stack the different companies that aren't in competition with each other as far as they are allowed to work for both of them or multiple of them without it being a conflict of interest. And Revo fits that exact demographic. We're about and not or over here. So even though we are hands down the best for our audience and the best for our drivers, we're going to bank off the fact that there's a whole demographic of hardworking professionals who will give us 8 hours, 12 hours a day in the midst of driving for Lyft and Uber. And then based on the competitive pricing, that's which ride they're going to take. So being able to recruit an army of them can be as simple as these 3 steps. As I mentioned, ask them which companies they drive for. Ask them if they're driving for Revo yet, which now, as you see, the army is being properly educated and they're booming. So your age of advantage is quickly going away. you're going to start getting some people that reply, yeah, I just started, blah, blah, blah. But right now, you're still in the age of advantage. So they're going to say, no, can you send me the link? And if you see some of the screenshots or some of the screen videos that I've also done showing this exact process, and with the Facebook group posting on the Facebook side of things shows the actual conversations where people do say that every single day in the Facebook groups, because they're having the mentality that I broke you down for here, where they do drive for multiple of these companies. So you are playing hero, if you will, by introducing them to another one that just adds another slot that potentially could give them the ride that's more money in their pocket than the other ones do for that moment, or in those cities that have dead times for Lyft and Uber, gives them another option so they don't face dead times when they're on the clock trying to provide for themselves and their family. And that's how simple it is, because then you get to send them the driver sign up funnel page where we already tell the story about how they can become drivers with us, and your job is done. Imagine, as you saw, how many of those tweets happen every single day of professionals talking about being professionals of these 20 different organizations, and how many of them you could copy and paste those 3 simple replies to and end up generating a literal army of people who want to be drivers for Revo right underneath you, and then you earning rewards every time they take a ride. Now, that's one half of the equation. We're going to also give them the ability to turn around and find people on Twitter the exact same way that aren't interested or are interested in becoming a Revo driver but weren't previously a Uber driver, Lyft driver. Now, how do we find those people? Well, they're fed up where they are, or they're needing money, because obviously as they drive for Revo, they're going to make money. It's their career. So how do we find people looking for that? Well, they're tweeting things like, I need a job, or I hate my current job, or I need money. Maybe they want some disposable income. Maybe they're asking who's hiring, right? And the Twitter keywords work the exact same way. So if we come over here, again, I already did some of the homework for you here. So I hate my job, and I click the latest tab, and literally 4 minutes ago, we'll scroll past that, excuse the language there, but literally 4 minutes ago, Ken just said that he hates his job. Anne says that they hate their job. Waterloo said he's suffering from I hate my job syndrome. Liam says I hate my job. And you can very easily, as we mentioned, I don't follow L doesn't follow me, hop right into the conversation. And you can either ask them what they hate about it, ask them if that means they want to change, or ask them if they're thinking about starting a new career, because then you can immediately upon their reply, send them the driver funnel and let that go ahead and tell them the story that turns around and turns them into a driver underneath you. And that's how simple it is for you to build your team now that you've learned the right way. You can go recruit an army, and that's not financial advice. That's a fact of life.